known as brand strategist. So today I decided to jump on and answer the question that has been coming up over the last week or so. And it is about launching, right? And in this video, I'm not talking about launching your entire business or your entire brand, right? So for those of you who know me, you know that I help people do one of two things. Either I'm helping you launch your coaching business, right, in the first 90 days, or I'm helping you launch a new arm, right, a new product, a new service in your existing coaching business, right? So today we're not talking about launching your entire brand. We are talking about launching your next coaching program or product like your course or something that you're offering. Okay. So I want to walk you through what I consider to be the 4 phases of launching and where people tend to go wrong as new coaches, first time coaches. Okay. So let's start with, I think I'm going to type today. Yeah, let's do some typing. Okay. Instead of me using my little magic pen. So the first one is going to be our planning phase. Okay. So when we talk about planning, we're talking about every single thing that has to happen over the life cycle of your launch, right? So everything from the landing pages, the opt-in emails, the ad messaging and campaigns, the graphics, any kind of speakers or collaborative partners, if you're doing affiliate marketing, every single thing that you can think of that happens in this planning period, right? This is mostly your administrative back end kind of stuff. In addition to that, it's you setting your revenue goal. It's you deciding what offer you're actually going to launch. You deciding how many leads that you need in order to fill your program. All of that goal setting stuff, in addition to your admin or back end stuff, happens in this particular phase. Okay, I'm going to come back to that in a second. But just so you understand, that's step one, right? Most of you already know that, but I'm going to show you where people tend to go wrong in this whole process of launching their products and services. Okay, so then our second step or our second phase is the promotion period. So this is just the marketing. This is you looking at what are all the forward facing things that you're going to do to promote your product or service, right? It can be everything from doing Facebook Lives to any kind of affiliate marketing that you're doing. People tend to struggle with this particular area. Although I will say it's not the biggest one, right? Marketing is a big struggle for people, no doubt. They do not understand all of the things that have to go into this promotional period. It tends to be the shortest period in terms of your entire launch, but also obviously the most powerful. Okay. I'm going to come back to that one in a second as well, but I want to lay all of them out for you before I dig into any of them deeply. Okay, so then our third phase is the promotion phase. And I spelled that wrong. Good, googly muggly. You know what? I'm going to leave it like that just because perfection is not required. I could just erase that and keep going, but I spelled it wrong. My bad. So the performance phase is what we would call the fulfillment aspect of your program. So if you're launching a coaching program, there are obviously aspects of you, right, that you will need to include, right? Whether they're Q&A calls, whether they're accountability calls, whether there are one-on-one sessions, like all of the things that require some element of you is what falls right in this spot. It's the fulfillment phase, okay? And then I'm going to call this last phase, let me make sure that we're going to call this the precision phase, okay? So this is yet another area of your launch that I see a lot of people who just don't skip. They're just skipping. So let me get my handy dandy pen and I'm going to go back to, so when we talk about precision, we're essentially talking about optimizing. Now, why I decided to go to this pen and write this out, I'll never know, okay? But when we say optimizing, we're talking about actually taking the time to go back and look at all the things that you did over your launch cycle and fixing and tweaking and adding and adjusting to make every aspect run efficiently. So let's just say one of the things that you noticed is that you got a lot of emails in this performance phase because people said, hey, I didn't get the login for the course, or I could not write on your PDF like you said I could, right? So that means in this optimized phase, you go back and say, okay, the next time I launch this, I need to check my campaign, all right, that's connected to me onboarding, right? So optimizing is you going back through every single one of these steps and getting clear about what worked well and what did not work. Okay, so let's jump back up here to the planning phase. This is all of the goals. Okay, typically these are money goals and also number goals, right? You ought to know your numbers before you start. Numbers meaning how much money I want to make, but then also the number of leads, right? Your own conversion rates, all of that goes into this planning phase. In addition to what I'm either going to call the back end stuff or the administrative stuff, okay? The promotion period, remember, is just you marketing. And I also want to make sure that people understand that when it comes to marketing, some of this is you pursuing people. Now, I know people are going to tell you, well, you should learn to attract your ideal client and they should come to you. This is very true, right? It is very true that we should be attracting our ideal client to us. But when you're a new coach, meaning the first couple of years of your business, you will have to follow up. This is, I'm either going to call this follow up or pursue. Here's the thing that they're not telling you. Coaches who have big followings still follow up with people. They still pursue people, right? They just don't have to pursue people as much, right? It's easier for them to drop a link and say, hey, buy my stuff. But when you're new, most people are not going to just go to your link and buy your stuff. So that means there needs to be an element of follow-up connected to your marketing, okay? And this one is just the fulfillment piece that we talked about. What does that look like for whatever it is that you're offering? Okay, here's the place that, and I'm gonna change my color here a little bit. Here's the number one place where people go wrong. I know people are like, oh, the planning phase is the easy part. Yeah, people think it's the easy part, but it takes a lot of time, right? And if you miss some of the details, everything else won't work. So let's just say that you wanted to fill your coaching program with, 10 people, for example. Okay, well, most people will think that, all right, well, then I need to get, 30 or 40 leads in order for me to fill my program. That is inaccurate, right? In order, especially, this is specifically for new coaches. If you are a new coach within the first couple of years and you are not well known, you will likely need at least 10 times the number of leads as you want for your program. So that means I need 100 leads in order to get to 10 people. And I'm talking about qualified leads, not just any leads. So you automatically set yourself up to fail within your launch if you don't understand your numbers and your conversion rates. So I see a lot of people who have set goals. I want 10 people, I want 15 people, I want 20 people, but they don't understand that in order to get that number, you have to have X amount of leads. This is where people tend to go wrong, right? And then they have a lot of back end things that don't work. But the biggest part is this numbers, right? Really, truly understanding the numbers. Here's the last thing that I'll say. The glue to being able to get all of this to work well, because at the end of the day, if you don't get each one of these phases correctly, it will impact your money, right? That's it. It will impact your money. So the glue that keeps all of this together is project management. It's not necessarily a phase, but it is the glue throughout all of the phases. So that way, if you're on week 6 of your launch, what is it that needs to be happening in week 6? What should have already been done in the planning phase? Project management is the glue, right? Here's the second thing that I would say people tend to miss, and I'm gonna put a 2 here so it's not the most. This is number 1. The precision phase. We do not optimize. We just simply move on to the next launch, right? If we didn't hit our revenue goal, we do not take the time to say, okay, why? What did I do wrong? What do I need to do differently? Do I need to gain some support around launching? Is it not that I need to gain support, but I just need to be more consistent? Did I need to be better at project management? Whatever it is, you could simply optimize what you're doing and not necessarily have to do a whole new large marketing campaign, right? That's the thing that I think sometimes we miss as coaches, is the fact that we're not even fully optimizing or fully tapping into our existing audience. And then we're going off trying to get new people. Well, if you just tapped into the people that you already have, which is optimizing, like that's a form of optimization, well, guess what? You would need to do nearly as much lead generation. Why? Because most new coaches that I find, they're not trying to build a program with 50 people in it. They have numbers somewhere between 5 and 25. Well, guess what? If you just consistently marketed, right, and consistently engage your people, sometimes you don't need to do a whole full launch, right? But I digress. That's an entire different video. Hopefully this was helpful to you all. If you have questions, drop them below. Tag your business besties. Um, Anything that you need, just make sure you drop it below. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Peace.